I think I have switched it on now.
Yes, it shows like it's being recorded.
It
Okay.
shows.
Start now.
All right. Again, welcome all of you. Thank you for joining us today. And during the next hour, maybe hour and 10 minutes, we will see. That would depend on your interest and on how good it goes. You will hear from the biggest cybersecurity event, from the biggest cyber battle of the year, which is the standoff. My name is Andre, and I'm here with you. And we got a huge team, which is helping us today. Svetlana is live from the city.
Thank you for joining.
Svetlana will give us a part which is devoted to what is the CTF, how we built it, and what are the latest news for city and its citizens. Then, I think my slides are not turning, right?
It is stuck on the first introduction slide.
Stuck on the introduction slide. Yes. What about now?
Still nothing. Maybe you have to.
Still nothing. All right. Give me a sec. Yes, I will switch it off and on again, like in famous movie. Stop share. And now share. Yeah, now it's okay. All right. So first of all, I will start with a couple of boring slides about what standoff is and why it is so great. Then we will have Svetlana. Svetlana, say hello again to us. I don't see you. Then we will have Svetlana live from from the model of the city. And that would take us about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. Then we will have Stan, who will help us understand what is going on in Security Operations Center in one of the Security Operations Center we've got in this competition. And finally, we will have Alex, who will help us to understand how those guys in Security Operations Center, how they work, what they do, and how they are so much successful in finding various hackers. So let's go on. Yeah. First of all, what is a standoff? I don't want to spoil your time and to steal from you, because there is so much more to see on the event, that I will just briefly give you an idea of what is going on. So the standoff is the biggest red versus blue cybersecurity exercise. And when I say the biggest, I really mean it. We got here 29 red teams who are struggling against 6 blue teams and a couple of monitoring security operations centers, which are staying on top of the competition for various reasons. The difference between this cybersecurity exercise, and that's why we call it so, not CTF, not just a pen test contest, is that the battlefield for our competition is not a bunch of computers, not a single computer, but the mock of a real smart city. We call it CTF. And in this city, we have various businesses. We have aviation company, we have airport, we have petrochemical plant, and so on. And all of them are equipped with the full digital copies of their real IT infrastructure. How we do this? The answer is quite clear and quite simple. We have lots of vendors who want to participate in this competition because they want to see how secure their infrastructure is. So they bring us their IT infrastructure. For example, this year we have one of the banks participating, the Bank of F, so-called Bank of the CTF, is run by the software from the company which is producing the banking software. They just wanted to make sure that their software meets high standards and can withstand powerful attacks. So just wrapping this up, the battlefield is the real mock of a real city, which is totally unique in the world. Then we got the competition, and the competition rules are different as well. Of course, we got points, but The question is what those teams get points for. Blue teams, we start with blue teams. Blue teams need to protect, as they usually do. In our competition, blue teams need to report and investigate security incidents. Of course, for this, they need to be able to detect it. They got the infrastructure like months in advance before the competition start. They installed all their security operation center software there, lots of technologies we will speak about later. They prepared and trained themselves for the months, and now they are ready. And for more than 3 days already, they are watching on what is going on in the city. Then red teams. Red teams have different tasks as well. Usually, they just need to get the password for domain controller, or they need to get the root password. This year and in this competition, we have it completely different. They don't need to bring flags. We don't need them to bring us the root password or to deface the site. We need them to do basically two things. First, they need to put a stress test on the infrastructure and find every possible vulnerability they can. We do not accept just simple vulnerabilities. We accept vulnerabilities which are really important. Those who calls remote code execution, local file include, and so on and so forth. Like something which can dramatically disrupt the operation of the application or host which they are attacking. What we do with those vulnerabilities, we give them to vendors later, or to the guys who have requested us to give us. I mean, to vendors, to guys who created the software, because some of the software is not the commercial of the shell, but was developed locally, and so on. Second thing, even more important, is those guys need to cause business risk to happen. Like I said, in the city, we got, I don't remember how many, Svetlana will tell us later, we got a couple of real companies. Like, for example, let's take an aviation company. Aviation company has a couple of business risks, which if they happen, this company may go out of business. A quick example is, what about the process of selling tickets will go wrong? What about people will not be able to buy tickets for a month? The company probably will not be that much happy. Or if you take an airport, what will happen if boarding and deboarding ladder will go down? People might get injured, they might sue the airport, or even someone might die. So those risks can be caused with the help of IT, because all those boarding, deboarding, and baggage distribution, and check-in processes, they all are run now by IT systems. And definitely this means that hackers can intervene with it and get some bad things to happen. So wrapping this all up, blue teams monitor, observe, investigate. Red teams report vulnerabilities and cause business risk to happen. I said at the beginning that this is the biggest competition, the biggest cybersecurity exercise this year worldwide. And the question is how we made it and why we're so sure that we got here really good guys from both red side and blue team and the blue side. With the red teams, it's quite interesting because, you know, those red teams, those hackers, they are, in addition to all of their, they are very professional. They are a little bit like kids in terms of they like play games and they like to compete against each other. So once they hear that there is some contest where best of the best are going to participate, they definitely want to join it. And we like the we run the standoff event for more than 6 years already. And we work with those hackers. We are very famous in hacker communities. So we really are sure that we get the best teams here. Of course, our hackers are not those dark guys who are really cracking and stealing and installing ransomware all over the world. But those are professional security experts, like the penetration testers. I don't like this word. Let's call it the red teamers who do red team security assessments, like white hats and so on and so forth. Well, another reason why the standoff is so interesting to them is that they can get some new skills here. They are a little bit tired, you know, in terms of just breaking into the network and stealing the domain password. Because, well, what is the domain password? The domain password is just a number of letters and special symbols and numbers. But this is exactly the point where they ask to get stopped when they are penetrating into some company network during their assignment. Like they are doing the assessment of the railway security. They get into the network, they get the domain password, and then they are told to stop. They never can get real control of the train. They never can get real control of the TV boards installed over the city. They cannot never get the control of a seaport crane, which puts cargo on ships and back. And standoff basically is the only place in the world where they can do this, because systems are the same and they know it, and they can learn something new. They can learn how to work with SCADA. They can learn how all those things are interconnected, how corporate network might get interconnected with the ICS network, and that's quite interesting to them. We hear lots of them that's a kind of a thing which made them very how to call it very interested, very curious, and that's why they are joining it. I wouldn't mention it, but also quite important that for all the hackers we got here, white hats, reverse engineers, pen testers, they have the only chance in the world to steal the train and not go to jail, because it's allowed here. The step of the sets they need to take is completely the same, but they stay free of jail, and that's very important to them. Second stream, blue teams. For blue teams, it's even more obvious. Blue teams participate here for two obvious reasons. The first one is that's a fast track to increasing their cybersecurity skills and improving them. Because daily on a standoff, we get more than like 30, 40 major cybersecurity incidents. And during the last 3 days, we got more than 100 already, and we got still 2.5 more days to come. We spoke last year, we spoke with the guy who was responsible for one of the blue teams here at the standoff. And he told us that he would have same number of major cybersecurity incidents in a year and a half if he will just stay at home and try to practice with his team for getting, reacting, and investigating incidents. So this is his chance to try themselves in a very aggressive environment and to prove that they are worth something. In addition, they can also bring part of their infrastructure to test their IT resilience, to test how they written down, but not always implemented, cybersecurity processes are working, how they deal with their security technologies, how good and how sensitive they are in terms of catching hackers, and well, how valuable their whole cybersecurity map is. We also have the third part here, who is benefiting from the standoff, and that's the whole society, all of us. All of us are benefiting here because basically those two, red and blue, they are first of all having fun. And we, society, we not only having fun just watching on the train going down, we also having a huge warning here that systems which we depend on in our day-to-day life may suddenly go down, may suddenly become inaccessible. That now the huge catastrophe, like one from the nuclear plant somewhere far, far away, can be triggered not just by the guy somewhere there making a huge error, but from the hacker who is sitting somewhere remote with just a couple of lines of code and hitting the enter button. So we really need to see, to observe, and to understand that we are so much dependent today on the IT technologies that huge attention should be made on topics like cybersecurity, and that's what we don't see, unfortunately, at the moment today. Cybersecurity budgets are underrated. Cybersecurity topics are usually undermined, and that is why we made all this competition to show humanity and to show all people around the globe that cybersecurity is really close, and we need to make sure we made all needed steps to protect all critical systems against hackers so that we do not regret it one day. But enough of dangerous stuff, and I'm more or less done with my boring slides. So now I want to introduce you Svetlana again, and she will give us a full insight of what is going on in the city at the moment. Svetlana, hello. How are you today?
Hi, Andrei. Hi, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us. So I'm reporting live from the standoff, from the heart of the standoff. This is the city model, and as you can see, it's pretty busy here. And I'm in competition with other reporting who are recording something here. And you know what's interesting here, that just recently our virtual live broadcaster company fell victim of
Svetlana,
yes, sorry, fell
something
victim
went
of the
wrong with camera.
not only with my cameras, sorry, but with the camera of the broadcaster company, virtual broadcaster company, like you can see here, the usual advertisement that here showing, it's now unavailable. You see here. Yep. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, just a moment.
Svetlana, something is wrong.
Yeah.
We can't see full of your camera.
Really? Okay, give me a second.
Something
Please.
is blocking it.
I hope it's not hackers who are trying to.
No. It seems that the part of your.
Yep. Just give me a second.
That's an equipment problem, and it doesn't have Wi-Fi, so probably this is not hackers.
I hope so.
We are not the part of the competition. But by the way, yesterday we have detected a huge attack on the platform. I will tell you about the platform after we finish with Svetlana. And yesterday there was a huge attack on the platform, and the hackers even managed to steal a couple of credentials. So they were able to post some kind of message. So basically the question is, who is watching the watchman? Okay, while Svetlana is fixing her camera, let me give you a couple of words. I have to put someone on mute. Yes. Okay, while Svetlana is fixing her camera, let me tell you a little bit more about the overall state of what is going on in the city at the moment. And to do this, I'm switching back to my slides. As soon as Svetlana is ready, I will give the word back to her. All right, so.
And I'm back.
Okay. So once you are back, I'm giving a word back to you. I stop sharing boring slides, and
thank you, guys. Sorry for that. So, but we are live, and some technical accidents could happen. So here is the city model, the biggest one among all five standoffs that we already have in the past. So we have this year we have 16 business objects. Like you can see here, we have an airport, we have power plant, and you can see that we have some visual effects. You see it's steaming, and
Oh, is it really working? What's that?
yes,
That's the
that's
power
a power
generation.
plant. Yes, that's power generation, and you know that we have visual effects for if red team will be succeed in hijacking the defending system of the power plant. We can see it stop streaming, and everything will go red. So we have its own visual effects for the attacks.
What's on the screens, Svetlana? You are
Yes,
showing us lots of screens.
this one. This is
Yes.
actually, yes, you know, guys, this is a really, really interesting thing, and the biggest difference from the normal CTF competition, because all that business objects like power plant, like business central, they are managing with the SCADA system and with the actual hardware. I will show you now. You can see this
Wow.
PLC
Wow.
controllers, yes, under the hood. So could you imagine all that like power plant and other objects controlling with the existing this SCADA system? So like I can stop operating just pressing the button, but
Are
I'm
you
not
able
going
to
to
touch
do
it?
that.
Are you able
I'm
to
able,
touch it?
but I won't. But
Why?
I won't.
Why?
Yeah,
What might happen
because
if you touch it? The plant will go down, or the guys just will come
yes, the plant,
and
yes,
beat you?
the both actually. But actually, I'm by stop operating this, I will black out the whole system, the whole city. And
Wow.
actually, this is the task for the red team to get control of this hardware, this equipment to be able to do so.
So you
Yep.
don't want to help red teams, right?
I don't want. Yeah, I don't
Okay,
want.
okay. I see that the train is moving, so probably railway isn't hacked yet. But
Not
what
yet.
happened during the last night? Do you have any news? Tell us, please.
Well, you know, as you said that we had some problems with the airport.
With the airport.
Yeah, with the airport, but for you know, some of the business risks have some visual effects, but some of them none. So for here we had some problem with the registration process. So passengers just were not able to register on their flight and miss like important business meetings because of that. And you know what's interesting? Like there are different types of hackers, and usually for their goal of their malicious activity is to get some money, for instance, to resell the
Everybody
sensitive.
likes money, yes.
Yeah, everybody likes money, like resell sensitive information that they can steal from the business company. But some of them are just hacktivists and doing that for fun. So we have here at the airport one of the red team just broken the billing system, and every user at the website was able to have a free ticket to world round trip. So could you imagine
Wow.
what damage for the air company that was?
Wow. Wow. I also heard that there were some problems with the petrochemical plant,
Yes, exactly. Just give me a second. Yeah,
which is
yes,
refining oil and
yeah,
oh
yes.
yeah. You got lots of competition today.
Yes, go lots of
Lots of guys
yeah.
are standing
So
there because the event is so popular.
exactly. Yeah, so here we can see it's oil refinery, and one of the red team was able to stop oil pumping, and again that caused a huge revenue loss for the oil company.
Wow.
And yep, and another one is a chemical factory. Yep. So you can see here is some liquid is peacefully reacting, and now is everything fine, but just yesterday that was hacked, and poison gas was released, so you can
Wow.
imagine, yes, what
So people
damage.
might die.
Absolutely, yeah. You know what's important about security for critical objects, that of course for some companies like data breach or denial of service, of course it's not pleasant thing, but when we are talking about people lives, this is really important.
Yes, 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 definitely, definitely. So, Svetlana, one of the last questions. All this SCADA you have under the table,
Yes.
is it exactly the same with what is used in
Yes,
ports
it's
in?
yeah, thank. So yes, this is exactly the actual equipment, and we have here, I think, the most renowned vendors of the PLC of the SCADA all over the globe. We see here Siemens, Schneider Electric, Mitsubishi Electric, Emerson, and a few other names, but they are really very popular all over the globe, and we can see them and the actual factories and airports and other business objects.
So it's not something we created just for fun. It's what we have in the
No,
real
no,
life.
exactly, Andre, and that is the really advantage of the cybersecurity exercise standoff.
Thank you very much, Svetlana.
Yeah,
And
thank you, guys.
let's switch back to myself. If you have any questions you want to ask Svetlana later on, do not hesitate. She will show you the piece you're missing, and she can I don't know, she can come closer and even show you the model of something if you like. All right, let me switch back to the slides, which might get a little bit. Oh no! Before we go to the slides, first of all, Alex, and I thank him for this, has already attached the document which is called Quick Start Guide, because I know that I'm speaking too much, because I don't have enough time to show you all my excitement about these events. I don't have enough time to explain all I want to explain about these events, but we have this all written down in a very short quick starting guide, which you may find attached in the chat room. Second of all, we got this uh, we got this stand, and we don't just have it available, let's say physically, but we also have the platform. The platform with the name standoff365.org shows you exactly how the competition is run, shows you ratings of blue and red teams, shows you what are the objects which are located within the city, and what objects were already hacked. As you can probably guess, the red ones are those who were successfully hacked, and the number of and the number above the icon is the number of business risks which was triggered for this object. I will switch to business risk again a little bit later. This platform is active 24/7. As you can see, lots of vulnerabilities were reported and lots of risks were triggered. Like at 10:30, attacker team Codeby has triggered the risk disruption of petrochemical production process. We also have the map of the battlefield here, where you may find all those objects Svetlana just presented to us online, with the list of risks which we have decided that would be valid for those businesses this year. So you may walk from one to one, take a look on what are the risks to different objects, and what risks were already triggered. For example, let's go to, I don't know, railway station is not hacked yet. Basically those which are in red were already hacked. Let's go to petrochemical plant. Basically, Svetlana already mentioned it, so we may take a look on what is going on here. So the plant is doing the job to refine oil and to make various chemicals out of it, and it defends and is defended by the threat shelter team. We have assigned 4 business risks this year to the plant, and these risks are leak of confidential documents, which is more or less IT risks, and that's why it was triggered first this year. And 2 other risks are halt of the petrochemical production processes and disruption of the petrochemical production processes, which Svetlana mentioned, like steam of the gas was pumping out of the petrochemical plant yesterday or Friday night, I don't remember exactly. So that was a catastrophe, that was a dangerous situation, and some people even might get killed due to it. So if we take a look on the risk, we can even see how many teams were able to trigger the risk. Of course, the more teams trigger the risk, the easier risk is to trigger, the more vulnerable basically the system is. So you can visit this platform 24/7 until the 17th of November, which is Tuesday, and see how it is going, what businesses are in danger, and what businesses have already suffered from hackers. Now let's switch back to my slides. I got a couple of more to show, but that would be the last slides. I nearly promise you, because there is the final slide as well. But now let's get back to my slides, and I will show you. I will show you a couple of facts about our red and blue teams this year. Like I said, we are lucky to have 29 very professional red teams this year. They are not script kiddies. They are not someone who do hacks because his semester in the high school is over. We got here real professionals. We got here teams who are doing penetration tests, security assessments for money. They got official engagements. We got here lots of enthusiastic white hats and lots of reverse engineers as well. So we have more than 3 days past. They are behind us already. So what are the first initial results of the competition and what we have got so far? First of all, I need to tell you that, again, the goals for hackers this year is to report vulnerabilities first and to trigger business risks second. Like, business risk is something, I would remind you again, business risk is something which is assigned to the company and which can cause significant damage or even put the company out of business in the real life. For example, if you have an explosion on a petrochemical plant, that is a huge business risk which can be triggered, now we know this, which can be triggered by hackers. So we have assigned initially 45 business risks this year, and 11 risks were already triggered during the first 3 days. The most endangered companies were petrochemical plant, oil refinery, airport, and the first one is the bank. Everybody is interested in bank because money is in the bank, obviously. So we have 11 risks which were triggered so far. And if you take a look on the sequence, the split, the time split of when they were triggered, one was triggered on the first day, on November 12th. Another 3 were triggered in the second day, and the next 7 were triggered in the third day. Why this split? Why more and more? First day was mostly spent by the hackers in searching for vulnerabilities. If we take a look on number of vulnerabilities that were already reported, like 100 plus, as stated in this slide, first day was mostly spent for hackers, by hackers for finding vulnerabilities and breaking into the systems. What vectors did they use to break into the system? Basically, like in real life, they used 2 things. They used flaws and vulnerabilities in web applications, and they use social engineering. When I told you that we have the city, which is a mock of a real city, I mean that we have the mock of a real city. I mean that we have not only infrastructure, we have not just the IT systems, we also have users who live in this city. And these users are opening emails. If they are particularly interesting, they click on them. And that's why social engineering is one of the 2 most popular vectors which were used by hackers in this competition so far. So again, we have 11 business risks already implemented out of 45, which was initially created by the jury this year. That's more than that's just almost 25%, but we are expecting more to come today and even more to come tomorrow. Basically for two reasons. First, hackers get much more knowledge of what is going on inside the network, inside the offices. They have already jumped into. And secondly, hackers gain more and more knowledge about how SCADA is working, and they are capable of triggering more and more risks in these terms as well. They probably will be able to stop the train. They probably will be able to drop some cargo from the seaport crane and so on. We will see that in the upcoming day, and I can't stop inviting you to attend the summarizing webinar and the platform in the upcoming days. What is surprising this year is that we planned for 45 risks, but they were capable of adding 2 more. They were capable, I mean, hackers, red teamers, they were capable of implementing things which by their nature are business risks for the businesses which we are speaking about, but we didn't plan for them, and we didn't think that this risk can be implemented with such infrastructure. A quick example here is yesterday, our Fly Aviation company, the major aviation company of the CTF, was giving away free airways tickets. And if I would be the citizen of the CTF, that would be the most exciting news for myself, because I would be able to book myself, a free holiday somewhere in Bahamas, or a round world trip with my beloved one, or I don't know, I can go to some place I've never been, and all this might happen for me for free. Unfortunately, the same thing would be not so interesting and not so exciting for the aviation company, because they can't just drop off all those free tickets which were issued. They have to fulfill them. So, like I said, we have 2 more risks implemented. So now we are expecting hackers to be even more dynamic and breathe us even more interesting news. But well, everybody loves hackers. Everybody loves the way they do. Everybody loves all those hacker movies. Everybody, okay, at my age at least, everybody saw hackers movie with Angelina Jolie, so pretty, and Johnny Lee Miller, so exciting. But what about the blue teams? Blue teams are doing a huge job here as well. First of all, who is our blue teamers? Blue teamers at the standoff are guys who work professionally in monitoring and investigating cybersecurity incidents 24/7. We got 6 teams this year. They are protecting whole city, and this is their day-to-day job. They do it day-to-day in as the members of the cybersecurity teams in big companies, as members of shifts in cybersecurity MSSPs. And even we have got a couple of teams from the vendor side. For example, we have got here a team from Microsoft who is doing their fast track training in cybersecurity, in real cybersecurity this year. The problem with those guys is that they have to work 24/7. Like all 123 hours non-stop cybersecurity exercise, they have to stay on alert. They have to monitor, find, and investigate every single second. Their achievement so far is they have completely investigated 91 incident, more than 100 attack, but 91 security incident is fully investigated and reported to jury. The average time of investigation is 9 hours. However, one industry, in particular the banking industry, is doing much faster. That basically reflects the fact that in finance, cybersecurity is much more advanced, and the cybersecurity programs for finance are much more developed. Probably that's the reasons why banking blue team is investigating incidents much faster. We got a curious situation here, a very funny one for us, but maybe not so funny for them. One of the blue teams, I wouldn't name them, of course, they have completely lost the control over their infrastructure, and even more, they have lost the whole control over their own security products. So we had to help them and to take the control of the infrastructure back to them. So now they are a little bit frustrated, and that's why they are missing a lot at the moment. But it's much better to train your cybersecurity team here. And even if they lost control over their infrastructure, it's not that dangerous like in the case when they are losing this control in the real life. So I am really sorry for the guys, but I'm happy that they learned this lesson, and they will probably much more successful in the next year. At the very beginning, I said that most of the penetration vectors, the initial access penetration vectors, were social engineering and flaws in web applications. Like you see here, 26% of the incidents, which is more than a quarter of the incidents, including the incidents inside the corporate networks, were successful attacks on web applications. So protecting web applications is something of very, very huge importance here. What technologies are used by the blue teamers here in the standoff? I like to tell you that I'm really proud that you see lots of red rectangles here, and this means that these are the products by Positive Technologies. So the core of every security operations centers is big three. That's the SIEM, number one, and SIEMs here are basically every flavor you will find on the today's market. You got ArcSight, you got IBM Curator, you got Microsoft Azure Sentinel, and you got, of course, Max Patrol SIEM, which is a quite I wouldn't say it's quite new, it's 5 years old already, but it's quite a productive next gen SIEM security solution. So SIEM is the first step. The second step is EDR. Endpoint detection and response is the second pillar all major SOCs should be based on. And here our defenders mostly use Checkpoint and Kaspersky endpoint detection and response. Well, as for myself, I definitely would prefer Kaspersky over those two, but I am just the guy here, so I have to stay neutral. The third pillar is the NTA. NTA helps you to see what is going on inside your corporate network and what unusual things happen there. NTA stands for Network Traffic Analysis, and the major product which is of the very high demand here in the standoff is Network Attack Discovery from my company, from Positive Technologies. We made this product to be able to detect all the unusual behavior you might face in the network, like lateral movements, like attempts to exploit some vulnerabilities, like exfiltration attempts. And that helps blue teams a lot, because if you stay only with the EDR, you are not capable of installing just the EDR on every single node in the network for various reasons. But with the network attack discovery, with the NTA or NDR solution, you are capable of seeing what is going on really inside the network right now. Lots of attacks were triggered in web applications, so most of the blue teams are using various WAFs. I heard a couple of them are using Imperva, but we didn't have enough space, so I put here just the PT application firewall. And now, enough words, enough spoiling you with all those logos and things. I want to give a word to Stan, who is right now in Security Operations Center, and he will tell us what is going on there and help us to understand how it is to be in the heart of the SOC. Stan?
Yes, hello everyone. I hope you hear me pretty well, loud and clear.
Loud and clear, Stan.
Sweet. And I'm here at the Security Operations Center, and this big board you see behind me is representing what is actually happening right now, giving us the indication, the basic indication, all those diagrams and graphs and tables, just an overview of what happens. What happens in a virtual city So as Andrew mentioned before, we have a red team, the attackers, and the blue team, the defenders. They have their own security operations centers. But above all of that, like in an eagle view, we have the Security Operations Center by Positive Technologies. As you may see it here on the right side, I guess Sveta could help us, please. No, she cannot. So
Maybe later.
maybe later, right. So the Security Operations Center by Positive Technologies is built on the products by Positive Technologies, which I'm proud can tell you. Basically, it's the SCM Solutions NTA, as Andrew again mentioned before, our network attack discovery, the product made for detecting anomalies inside the corporate infrastructure, web application firewall, where we got most of the information about trying to breach the perimeter via application firewall, via web applications, and well, all the way up to the sandbox, which helps us to detect the social engineering, the malicious files going into infrastructure from outside. And on my right side, you may see the Security Operations Center itself.
Oh, those guys! Those guys!
Those guys sleeplessly, constantly watching for all of the infrastructure. And as you may see, it's half populated now because, well, it's working 24/7 nonstop, so people are still sleeping, some of them.
So still they still need to get some sleep, right?
Oh yeah, because you know hackers, they love when it's dark around and stuff. So most of the exciting attacks are actually happening during the night. Well,
Stan,
Yep.
just a couple of questions about the products. I see lots of screens behind you. Maybe you can give us some insights. I saw some big number on top, like 19,326. What's it?
This one.
Yeah, this one.
That's an average amount of the events per second, which give us the idea of basically of how many events per second we are registering and looking after, making the correlations out of it. Also, it helps us to see if you may take a look and the line under that, you will see that it's mostly flat, but there are some spikes. And once you see the spike on an overview, that means that something is actually happening because, well, you know, some network devices starting to provide way more events during such things like DDoS attacks or brute force or anything like this. And somebody is using crypto to make their actions automatic. So it makes a lot of events for us.
And you are capable to observe all this. Fantastic, fantastic.
Sure.
Stan, as far as I remember, we have Paul who promised to have a word with you.
Yeah. Let's call our colleague.
Let's go and get him.
Paul, can you help us please here?
So Paul is heading the Security Operating Center here, right?
Yep. And he will tell us.
He looks tired.
Well, sleepless nights, I told you. All right, let's go. So, Paul, can you please tell us the latest the status update? What is actually happening and how is the city living so far?
Okay. Actually, what's happening right now, I'd call it the true cyber battle.
Yeah.
Battle with a big letter B. Because new reports of attacks and new reports of blue teams we receive every 2-5 minutes, I would say.
Wow, that's pretty frequent, hey?
Yeah. The most attacked hosts for the moment, the balance has moved to the inside of the infrastructure.
So you want to say that most of the hackers were able to get through the perimeter to breach it, right?
Not most of the hackers, but I'd say many of them.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, and the teams are quite close to realizing many of given business risks. For example, the most actual information which I can give to you at the moment is that in the night were hacked the airport systems, personal data of airport and logistics company clients were stolen, personal data of the passengers. And also the attackers managed to achieve a new business risks that were not predicted even by our global SOC. They have.
So they were not implemented, but they still managed to do that, right?
Yes. And that's why we are telling that standoff cyber battle is very close to the reality. Because as we all can see, the attack vectors that we have not predicted could also be realized in the process of the battle. So the attackers have managed to get access to the airport website and steal airline tickets for free.
Yeah, that's the nice thing that Andrew mentioned already, that it's really nice and good to have a free ticket to anywhere. That's probably one of the business risks that population of the city would really like to use.
Yes. Also, the risk the achieved by the red team's risk of personal data leakage is quite important, because the data stolen could potentially be used by the attackers on other objects, for example, in the bank.
So you want to tell us that not only the tickets were given for free, but also the personal data of the passengers was stolen.
Yes.
Oh,
You
well,
got it right.
that means a lot of additional risks, like spear phishing, for example, right? To send some phishing letters to personally.
Yes, we see a lot of spear phishing used by the attackers, but many of leaks were achieved through other ways. Because that's good, I think. That's really good with malicious attachment. Most of the malicious attachments in the emails are being stopped by defending systems and comments.
Well, that's good to know it, but still the data was stolen. And well, that means not only the dangerous spear phishing stuff, but as far as I remember, in some countries also, this will also lead to big fines by the government and the regulators. I mean, because you have to protect it, it's by the law. So it looks like it's a fail situation. So airport losing money, and also will lose money when it will be punished by the government regulations, right?
Yes, you're completely right. Also, as I know for the moment, in the night, the personal data of some other object, so-called employees, not clients, were also stolen, and that leads to the very moment you have mentioned just now. Because when we are talking about financial industry or I don't know, for example, oil industry. These are the fields of commercial which are very strictly regulated and observed by government. And such leakages in these quite sensitive fields can definitely become a case to punish these companies from the side of the government.
Oh yeah, and I have to mention that I'm not working in a bank, but still I will be really disappointed if my personal data will leak somewhere, because, well, I don't want it to.
A
All
quick
right.
question to you, Stan, and
All right.
just do not let Paul go. We got this year 29 teams, and does Paul feel it? I mean, do we have more events? Do we have more more energetic event now? Like, do we feel that we have so many hackers?
Okay, so the question from Andrew, this year we have 29 teams of hackers, and well, that's way more than it was before. And do you feel this tension that the more hackers are getting through, and I mean, there's obviously way more work to do to absorb them. So how harder it is compared to the previous events?
As I said before in the very start of our speech, it's quite hard. Yes, it's battle from the starting with the big letter B, but the products we have set up for absorbing all the situation help us a lot to see through all the attacks, through actions of the defenders, and to maintain the clear view of the current situation. For example, many cases are being resolved through looking in our CM system, which collects all the log from infrastructure of the standoff. Quite a bunch of attacks we see through our network traffic analysis system, the NAD. And also in the previous days, guys, there were some incidents related to the oil company, for example, poisonous gas outbreak, and the actions of attackers in SCADA systems we saw using our ISIM system, Industrial Security Incident Management.
Also, we got a
with the help
special
of our
solution.
products,
Wow.
we can maintain the quite clear picture.
So you mentioned ISIM, Industrial Security Incident Manager. So as far as I understand, this is like the CM system, but more for the industrial, the SCADA systems, right? Helping to gather events from the traffic, which is related to the hardware itself, like controllers and stuff, right?
Yes, exactly. It's kind of combined solution, and we use the ISIM also, the ISIM and CM both to enrich events from each other. So we can look into the CM and see how the attackers managed to get into the office infrastructure of the oil factory. And then in ISIM, we can see how they move through the SCADA environment.
So with that, you got, well, with what you said before, with the CM systems collecting all the information, aggregating it together, correlating, helps you to see what you really need to see in a big flow of the events. And we can see it's 20,000 per second. And with the other tools like network analysis and ISIM that we mentioned before, Industrial Security Incident Management, it seems like we got a complete solution to cover the look at the security from the very big overview, like an eagle fly, and all the way down to the traffic inspection, right?
Yes. Based on our products, we can from the one side maintain quite helicopter view of what's going on.
Yeah, eagle eye view.
Yeah. Right. For example, what you can see here on the dashboards, it's for example, yes, some medium flow of the events, the amount of the incidents, etc., etc. And we can dive into each incident and get a view sufficient for the expert to conduct the proper investigation.
All right, sounds really cool.
Thank you very much, Stan. Thank you very much, Paul.
Okay.
I think we may let Paul go, and I will have the very final question to you.
All right. So, Paul, thank you very much
Thank
for
you very
helping.
much to Paul, and wish him to get some sleep.
Yeah, we wish you to get some sleep.
I hope so.
He's hoping for it. All right. Thanks.
Thanks to Paul. Stan, very final question to you. What's in it there for us? I mean, we are building this security operations center. We are monitoring everything. What's in there for us? Do we do? Yeah.
That's a really good question because it's not just, you know, this security operations center we built here. It's not just for the numbers and tables that you see behind me, but the most important thing is that we not, as a vendor, and as I mentioned before, we built this security operations center completely using only our products. And this is important for us because as a vendor, we're not only producing the software like security tools, like there you go, use it, work with it, but we put our expertise in there. So that means that out of the box, you may start to use all of these products that will show you not only the information, but also what does this information means, which helps you, well, starting from beginning to work with it, finishing with training your own employees using these tools. Because it's not only, you know, the rules and the reputation lists and so on and so on, and the signatures. That's everything there is documented. So you will not only see some, you know, some expertise that we put into our products, but it will be also described and helping you to start work with it. So it's not only like, you know, a bunch of fancy words like Mimikatz detecting tool, but also there is a description with showing how to work with this, how to set this up, how to adjust your sources in your infrastructure, and what to do. After all, if you have the incident, is it negative or false negative or false positive, etc. So our idea is that the security operations center that we built here, the people are looking at the actions of the red team and the blue team as well. So learning the new ways of how to attack, you know, the methods and tactics, and the new ways of how to protect it. And with this intelligence, we put into our products, being described, as I mentioned before, so you, as a customer, may use it for your own benefits, right out of the box.
Wow. Wow. That what makes me really excited about the event. Thank you, Stan. Thank you very much. And well, I hope to speak with you soon again. I'm taking the word back from Stan, and there was a question in the chat about how we see the technique and hardware that blue teams use to block hacker attacks. And I guess that the, like Stan said, the eagle eye, the helicopter view, was given by Stan, but we have another guy here who will help us to take a more closer look on how it works, and to feel us, to help us to feel ourselves as an engineers in the SOC, and to yeah, sorry, and to investigate a little bit. So please welcome Alex, who is joining me, and will tell us some insights about the product. Alex, hello.
Hi, colleagues.
I heard there was an incident in the airport yesterday, and you probably might help us with showing a little bit of insights, how you were able to see, how you were able to observe what happened at the airport. I guess the most interesting case there was the break in the ticket issuing incident,
yes,
right?
Yes, that I want to show you. Colleagues, my name is Alex. First of all, I want to greet you and glad to see you on our meeting, on our standoff. I'm Security Operations Center engineer, and I'm helping in this Operations Center to my team to detect the incidents, to detect anomalies, to detect red teams. So for this purpose, actually I use 5 solutions which were produced by Positive Technologies. I will show 4 of 5 of them. So first of all, it's network attack discovery, then application firewall, CM solution, sandbox, and ISIM. So let's take a look what was happened and which risk was triggered. Wait a second, I will switch to my desktop. Wait.
So there will be a risk in the airport, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So hope you see my screen. First of all, I want to show you our battlefield, its scheme, which you can see on our platform. And this is airport, and we have many cyber risks which red teams can trigger. So, and I want to tell you about ticket sale system. This ticket sale system was damaged, was ruined yesterday evening. This risk was triggered, and let's take a look how it was happened, and I will show you some incident in our products, which
we are dying to see how it looks in the products. Let's get into.
So, and first of all, we have kill chain, and red team had an initial access via exploitation, remote code exploitation on airport website.
So that's a web application.
Yes, this product, it's PT application firewall. It's a firewall with which can protect your application to layer 7 attacks, and can decrease risks of your application. So this is the main dashboard with many widgets, and you can see some information about what happened right now on standoff. And this request, it's post request, which had made by red team, one of red team, and this request says to us that red team damaged site by post request, and they tried to remote code execution, and this try was successful.
So first step was attack on the
yes,
web application, and we were able to see this with the PT application firewall, right?
Right now, right? Yes, right.
We didn't block it because there was no goal to block it, right?
Yes, of course. We just monitor, and this settings is just for showing what was happened. So and after that, red team hacker had an host which he can use for next step of our kill chain. And next step, I saw in network attack discovery. This is solution, kind of network traffic analysis solution, and it helps you to analyze traffic outbound and inbound up to layer 7. So this is the main dashboard of our product, and I just filtered some information and find it that after initial access, hackers tried to brute force account to Exchange server. You can see here a lot of tries, and many tries was unsuccessful, but finally the hackers had a successful attempt, and he they access to one of account in this infrastructure. Then,
okay, yeah, let's go next. See.
Third step. I covered by Max Patrol CEM solution. This solution helps you to correlate events from your infrastructure and detect incident, detect anomalies with expertise out of the box. So we can see the main dashboard of incidents here. And again, after filtering, I had seen that it was phishing mailing from the account which was brute forced before. And this phishing was from this account to another account. So what purposes? Main purpose is to run the malicious executions, malicious file on the victim host for persistence or for lateral movement, for example. So you can see many events from our sandbox. It's fourth product of our security operations center. If we open sandbox, you can see main dashboard with many files which it checked, scanned. So sandbox is an isolated environment in your infrastructure with which can you help to analyze all attachments, all files which goes to your infrastructure via file server, Exchange server, web server, and other. If we try to find the exact next step of our kill chain, we can see that yesterday it was phishing with this Trojan, and we can see that this Trojan was scanned by many antivirus engines, and these engines said that this is Trojan, and it is not it's not good in your infrastructure. So after that, the victim opened this document. This is HR account, and HR opened this document and had a process which installed on his host. This process called KK-exe, and this process tried to persist the hacker on the airport infrastructure. So what was happened further?
So that was, I'm sorry for jumping in, Alex, that was social engineering again, right?
Yes, it's social engineering, and HR specialist opened this document, was the victim, and
like they usually do. Like yes. They usually do. They click. They get the mail, they click.
Yes, if we open, for example, again, if we open the sandbox, we can see that this mail with the title about CV, and this CV is just interesting for HR account. So
HR, well, they are very interested about CV because they have metrics to fill all the positions as fast as they can. So they are probably clicking on it constantly.
Yes, exactly. And finish of this, it's persistent, as I said. This is another incident in CM solution. We can see that attacker tried to run netcat, which helps attackers, for example, to listen exact port for reverse shell, for example. We can see here that with this brute forced account was launched netcat with the parameters. Which parameters? We can see the events, and we can see that parameters, it's running netcat with this port, and running, for example, first of all, running CMD. So, and after that, this netcat was moved to autorun folder. This means that hackers can have direct access to victim host. What was happened further? As I said, HR account got an email, and in this email was a Trojan, and our HR account has how to explain tasks for a new employee. So first of all, he need to make a mail to the IT help desk for granting this for granting this new employee the rights to the CRM system. And finally, Red Team had access to CRM system and switch off all ticket system. This is final point of this risk, and this is how we explain the kill chain to you.
Okay, Alex, thank you very much. So a couple of rapid questions. First of all, how do you think, do we have all needed to create a monitoring center so that you can oversee all the attacks and all the attempts hackers can try to make on your network, on the customer's network?
Do we need what?
Do we have the full set of products? Can you build the security operating centers mostly on Positive Technologies products?
Yes, we do. As I said, we have 5 of them in our security operations center, which combined each other. They transfer data from each other just for increase the possibility to detect incidents.
Okay, the next one is you've mentioned 5 products already. Do they just work separately, or they share events with each other and they interconnect somehow?
Yes, they combined, and as I said, they just in our settings we have an option which provide you to combine separate products with one solution which can help you to use it in security operation centers, for example. And they products could be main products in your security operation center.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. That was quite impressive. Now we know how hackers were able to break in and what they did. They just intertwine with the tickets delivery system. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm taking the word back from you because I want to almost finish our tour. Just I don't see how I do it. Stop participants sharing. That's it. Okay, and now I want to share my screen because I have a couple more slides left. Gentlemen, sorry for making you staying with us for so long. I guess it was a little bit enjoying. At least you've got a chance to talk to to hear from the Security Operations Center experts, which is quite unusual these days because they're constantly busy. So I really thank them for joining us. Like I said, a couple more slides, basically two more. First of all, the battle will be on until 11 a.m. GMT on November 17th. So please do not forget to join the platform from time to time and see what is going on there and what new risks were discovered and implemented by the teams. Secondly, on 3:30 GMT on November 17th, there will be an award ceremony. So if you like to finally see who was the best team, who was the best blue team, and who was the best red team, you can join us and see what was going on there. But that's all of the fun part of the competition. What is much more interesting in terms of the security standpoint is that we will give away a free webinar on December 15, where we will wrap up all that we saw during the standoff. Of course, we will not disclose all the vulnerabilities that were reported. And of course, we will not like literally show you how to break into the system because that's illegal. But we definitely will give an insight on what were top attacker techniques, what are the latest trends that we saw during these events, how you can use various technologies, not only our products, but mostly our products, of course. I'm sorry for that. How you can use various technologies to detect that you've got hackers which are trying to penetrate the network, or they are already in and you need to discover them before it's too late, and a lot more. So I kindly ask you to register for this webinar, and I promise you that you will hear a lot of various interesting stuff there. And again, I can't stop saying that the platform, the standoff365.com, is quite an interesting thing because, well, hopefully at the end of the day, some of the team will be able to get a full control over the city. So you will see there, you know, a kind of a Armageddon, whole disaster. Everybody is going out and everything is going down, something like that. So do not forget to join the platform a couple of times. Having said that, I want to thank you for joining us here today. I apologize for this took 1 hour and a half instead of 1 hour as was promised, but I hope it was really enjoyed and you like it. And what else? A couple of more questions we got here. One of them was about physical protection. Basically, there is a family of the product which is called network access control. So the question was if we have something like a network access control. I gave already a short answer here, but let me give it a little bit more of the explanation. Normally, network access control is used to prevent nodes which don't have antivirus, which have outdated databases, which we don't know about, to access the network. But usually this thing is run by the IT staff now, because IT somehow stop tracking the validity of the antivirus databases at the moment. They are much more interested in if the ports which are used in the core switch are the ports which are allowed, and if the IP address, if the MAC addresses are valid and the same. And that's a job which is a kind of a joint effort between the IT and the IT security, the cybersecurity team. However, we still see that even if such system is implemented, hackers can get through it. Basically, two major things how they do it is they are simply penetrating from the guest or even corporate Wi-Fi part, or they might develop their attack by gaining control over one of the nodes, which is completely legitimate, and then do some kind of lateral movement. So in addition to physical things which can help you but cannot prevent it, you definitely need some kind of a monitoring solution. And this is what is particularly done by the network attack discovery, which is our NTE. I hope I have explained it in the details. Do you have any more questions, gentlemen?
Maybe there are some questions in the chat.
That was I was answering for.
I don't think there are more questions.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
It was really a great session today.
Thank you very much. And well, we hope to speak and see you pretty soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Same to you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Cheers. Au revoir.